Hello and welcome to our first episode of Talking X's and O's. I'm your host, Tyler Burke, with our guest today, Matthew Kostelnik, the head football coach of the Avon Lake Shoremen. Today's episode is sponsored by Lake T Apparel. Coach, great to be with you. The first question we have today is, what were your goals going into the season?
In regards to just overall team goals, well, we always want to, start off. We want to beat South first and foremost. From there, we want to be SWC champs, regional champs, and then on to state champs. That's a goal, that consistent goal that we set every year, and ourselves to a high standard and high competition level.
All right, yep, definitely. How have these goals been looking going into the week 4?
Well, we stumbled last week in week 3. Offensively, we haven't been as efficient as we want to be. As a coaching staff, we always take a look at where can we get better first. I don't think we're being a good coaching staff if we're not saying it's our fault first. But all of our goals are intact. We never. You notice I didn't say 10-0. I just said SWC champs, and we're going to open up with SWC this week, and it's our first opportunity to achieve that goal. And then make our way as we play South week 10. So our goals are still intact. We just need to make sure we shore things up a little bit, take care of those tiny details. So wins like last week would have taken care of itself and ultimately get better. And like I said, as a coaching staff, we're going to pare some stuff down and continue to move forward.
With 2-year varsity starter Jeremy Zick gone, how has Alex been filling in the offense?
I think he's been, great so far. I mean, he's throwing for close to 60% completion percentage. His next level in his maturity, his decision making has been very good. Where he's failing right now is some of those little details, in particular on crucial situations, going through his progressions a little bit quicker. I mean, he's getting to the right progression, or put a little touch on the ball when we need a surefire first down. Those type of things will take him into the next level. But overall, I can't be mad at him for his decision making. But he can definitely speed it up in some cases, and I can't be mad at him for his completion percentage. He's darn near 60% as a high school kid. That's a good start. So if he can clean up some of the other details that we require of him, carrying out fakes and things like that, it'll get our offense to run a lot smoother and as we move forward.
Switching sides of the ball, with having most of the defense graduating last year, how do you think the defense has been performing?
Same thing. I think our defense has played well. I mean, last week they got a little tired in the second half, mostly because our offense wasn't able to stay consistent and move the ball and keep the ball out of Chardon's hands. So they've been playing well. For us, it's again, those little tiny details, run fits, some guys trying to do too much and get to the ball. Turnover ratio, we've been doing great so far. But as we play a tougher schedule going into conference play, cleaning up those details, making sure we're in the right fits, making sure we're getting guys on the ball, or getting guys on the ground, and putting pressure on quarterbacks, that'll put us in a position to be more successful, especially in the back half of this year, and not be giving up 15 points a game. And
while there were a lot of seniors starting on both sides of the ball, how do you feel that those big contributing juniors played last year, like Wade Nelson, Clay Broadhurst, Derek McCrum, and others, have been doing that leadership role for the team?
Good. I think our leadership's been great so far. I've been really impressed with how we handle things. We had a great captain's meeting after Friday's loss, and the insight that those guys brought to the table, I thought was fantastic, and it showed that as a coaching staff and as players, we're seeing the same thing that's not going well. And to me, that shows great leadership and stepping forward. And so we're going to rely on that as we get into conference schedule and rely on those guys to keep us moving in a positive and successful direction.
All right, sounds good. And that wraps up our first episode of Talking X's and O's with Coach Kostelnik. Thank you, Coach. Once again, this segment is sponsored by Lake T Apparel. And that's a wrap.